go. Game 1 kicking off midfield. There you go. So in orange, Team Rocket, Doomsy, Cole, and I Am a Tree. And on the blue side, Swarm Gaming, Pashy, Stocky, and DeBoer.
Oh!
Oh, and it just goes high, but here comes Doomsy coming up trying to get a little bit of a dunk, but he's just way too high, I think. It's hard to get the angle on that.
God, that was such a mistake. And yet the mistake pays off. This
was a hard stop. Stocky gets the touch, and it just goes so far. Tree can't get in front of it in time. It was going too fast. I honestly think he was confused by, you know, Swarm Gaming taking a shot. I don't think he expected that hit. Yeah, it was really long distance. It was coming in really low, and it just came in with such velocity, too. And that's something Stocky does really well, just really high-power shots. You know? I know we talked about last week how that's something Cole's notorious for, is just those really high-power midfield shots, but Stocky does those from any position. Just a lot of power on there. Another setup, and Pashy gets the finish off DeBoer's center. Very nice setup here. Take a look at this from Pashy's view. Gets a play off the corner. We're going to go to... Sorry, that was DeBoer. Sorry, now we're going to go to Pashy, who gets the big finish.
Yeah, just a poor clear there. I thought he might have got it, but he didn't, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Yeah, looking good for Swarm so far. Getting a few early goals here and just playing very nicely. So Team Rocket's going to have to regroup. They're dealing with a much more challenging Swarm team than I think that they've played in a very long time.
Yeah, that intensity is just palpable with Swarm Gaming.
Yeah, as soon as they got Stocky in there, that's really changed things up for the Swarm team. I remember the first series or the first set of games that they were playing, Pashy sent me a message saying that they felt like they were playing 200% better than they ever had before. And I didn't quite see it in that tournament. The tournament that he said that in wasn't quite there. But then again, you know, when you're playing on the team, there's a lot of intangibles that maybe you can't see from a casting perspective, but when you're playing on a team and you have that communication and just field awareness, and there's DeBoer with a big punish.
What a beautiful shot. The official striker of Swarm Gaming putting it in the back of the net right there with a great power top shelf shot.
Yeah, everybody just knows what they're doing. I mean, Stocky definitely more of a defender role, despite the fact that he puts up so many shots. But yeah, DeBoer oftentimes a big playmaker. Usually sets Pashy up, but sometimes it flips around. They're kind of like the Kronovian Sad Jr. of their team. You never know who exactly is going to do the setting up and who exactly is going to get the finish. But in cases like that, you know, hell, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I was saying you also see a point where Gibbs is also starting to do the attack as well, just because that's how the meta is changing.
Yeah, you know, you have these predetermined roles, but they're just kind of vague, you know. Nobody sits in goal. Nobody sits on defense. It's just a constant rotational style of play. You have to have 3 well-rounded players to really do well here. But now, Team Rocket, I mean, as it stands right now, Team Rocket is just struggling to develop an offensive chance. They're playing defense constantly because Swarm just keeps the pressure on.
Yeah, this is where they need one of those really good clears, and they just aren't getting what they need right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to take a little bit of a higher perspective so we can see kind of the whole field unfold. But all right, now they're going to try and play it off the wall here, but there comes DeBoer and Pashy to shut it down before they can even get it past the halfway point. All right, chance could develop here. Now we're seeing Team Rocket come a little bit together, but nope. I spoke too early.
Yeah, the contests are just too strong right now by Swarm Gaming.
Well, Team Rocket, hopefully they know what they're doing wrong here. They know what they need to adjust. It's just trying to respond to this aggression that I think is causing them some causing them some headaches.
Yeah, and you have to think about what Team Rocket just had to go against. They really didn't have any hard lineups that they had to go against until they got here to Swarm. So they've been kind of in the kiddie pool, now jumping into an ocean.
Yeah, they have gone headfirst into the deep end now, and floaters don't work here. Just put it that way. All right, but right now, Team Rocket looking a little bit better. I think they're starting to click a little bit more. There's a nice setup by Tree, but very nice deflection away from the goal. You know, sometimes you got to set it across the goal, but if you set it up high enough, it's hard for your opponents to make any kind of play. There's Pesci, tries to get a goal. DeBoer, though, gets the response.
God, that shot earlier by Pesci was just fantastic. If only it was a little bit lower, but DeBoer there with a nice setup for the next shot.
Yeah, picking up those rebounds is something that Swarm does really well. They just know how to get into position. They know how to, you know, really just respond to these sort of plays. And even if Pesci goes a little high or a little wide and, you know, the shot's not quite on point, DeBoer's there, Stocky's there, Pesci's there. And already, I mean, this is just looking like a steamroll job by Swarm over Team Rocket. But I am going to say... Oh, it was. And right now, Swarm's clicking on all cylinders. You know, I think we're getting a little bit of Team Rocket kind of having to warm up here. Because like you mentioned, they're finally getting into a serious match. And hopefully by Game 2, we're going to see a little more of the Team Rocket that we're used to. A little more of the Team Rocket that I think could very well beat Swarm Gaming. But until we start seeing that, and if it doesn't happen next game, it's going to be too late. You know, I don't necessarily think that Team Rocket, if they don't start bringing it Game 2, will have what it takes to complete a reverse sweep.
Right. And you're already seeing a tempo change by Team Rocket, so that's always good. They're knowing, hey, all right, we got to step up the tempo as well. So hopefully by next game, this tempo upgrade that they're doing, they'll keep to it, and maybe that'll help them out. Yeah,
exactly. So... they are going to lose this first game, though. They're definitely going to go down 1-0 in the series so far. But we're going to see how they pull this out and regroup for the next round.
Yeah, but honestly, those were some fantastic shots there. I mean, dear God. Pesci with those shots, DeBoer. It was all around really good play. And it was going to be hard for any team, let alone Team Rocket, to block that.
Yeah, absolutely. And not quite the performance I thought I'd see out of Team Rocket in this Game 1, but, you know, maybe it is just that. Maybe it's just too easy of a ride so far, and they finally need a challenge to really adjust their play style. But,
well, they still got 2 more games, so at least 2 more.
At least 2 more, that is true. At least 2 more games for Team Rocket to try and resolve this, come back, look a little more formidable. But this is a best-of-5 series. First to 3 will take it. And I'm hoping it's definitely a little closer of a series than what we've seen thus far. But granted, like I said, Game 1, can't really gauge a whole lot off of Game 1 necessarily, especially with 2 teams like this.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like I said, I feel like Game 1 was Team Rocket testing the waters and trying to get their feet, or sorry, not even their feet, just like their whole body wet for this, because they know they're going to be in it deep, so they've got to start coming out. And here we go, they are.
Yeah, so far looking okay for Team Rocket, coming off with some early aggression, but they have to keep it going. If it gets turned aside and the pressure starts back up for Swarm again, then yeah, they're going to be in a rough spot. And they're, speaking of which, already Pesci coming out of the gate. The ball gets turned around here. They can't get in front of it in time. You can see Doomsy tries to get in front of it to get the stop, but no luck. And already they are up 1-0 over Team Rocket in Game 2 here.
Yeah, Cole just didn't get the clear that he needed, and Doomsy did his best effort to try and save that, but that was going to be rough no matter what.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we're still very early. I'm not going to necessarily rule out Team Rocket quite yet. I mean, I just need to see a little more consistency here. You know, I need to see that they are able to keep an offensive set going and keep the pressure going, keep the ball on the blue side of the pitch. You know, show that they're actually in this game and not stuck playing defense to an overzealous Swarm team who loves to bring tons of pressure.
Right. And it's really going to come down to their clears and how they're setting up for these, because honestly right now how their clears are is what's keeping them on their own side, is they just can't get it past Swarm.
Yeah, exactly. And that strategy that they take, that, you know, overly aggressive style, is a big reason why it's so hard to get past them. Because they cover every part of the pitch, and there's De Boer with a great setup coming off here. Let's watch this again. Stocky sets it up high. De Boer sees where it's coming, side swipes into it, redirects it nicely. Basically beat Cole to the punch on that one.
Yeah, but Doomsy didn't get that hit, and Cole had no boost, so Doomsy had to hit that one that he went up for, because it was a matter of saving a goal or letting one in.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Team Rocket, they got to get something going. You know, they really do. To just show that they are going to be a threat in this series. And clears like that, that's, no, that's just completely unacceptable clears. I mean, that's dead center, straight to De Boer. Yeah. Like, literally straight to De Boer. De Boer didn't even have to turn his car, and he made header contact. No, not against a team like this. You clear that ball to the corner, you clear it to the wall, just get it out of the center. But that was straight to De Boer on that play, and
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even care if he just kicked it into his corner, as long as it's not dead center. These teams are too good to do that.
Yeah, I usually see, like, Tree, for example, makes great clears typically. Like, he'll come in and he can come straight in on a ball, but he gets just the right angle to redirect the ball away from his own net and put it into his own corner, which is great because now you got your opponents who can't quite make a play on it. Oh, there's a good pinch off the wall. Gets into position. Doomsy going to try to get a goal here.
That's a chance he should have had.
Yep, can't quite do it. There's a good follow-up, though. And there we go. Team Rocket on the board. It is not an insurmountable lead, but the play style seriously has to change now for Team Rocket. If they want to stay in this series, if they want to remain a threat to Swarm. I mean, we got to see... I mean, we've got half the game to go. Plenty of time for 2 goals.
Said they have afterburners. They need to kick them in gear now.
Yeah, exactly. Time to kick on that real life boost. And bring the pain. There's a nice shot. A little off point, though. I think Cole could have been in a good spot to maybe redirect it, but I think he was headed the other direction.
Yeah, here goes Pashy.
Yep, good aerial play, though, by Doomsy. Keeps the ball going. So hopefully Team Rocket can start riding this momentum a little bit and avoid that. That's not good. That was such a good setup, though. I mean, look at this exchange between Pashy and De Boer, just playing it back and forth. I mean, that was actually really nice by Swarm there.
The touches and the redirect actually kept Tree from coming out to try and contest it because Cole and all of them were around it. So he honestly didn't have a good line of sight of where that ball was going to be hit. And since it got redirected in the corner, he's in the wrong position for that.
Yeah, and that kind of play is not only really smart to keep the defense guessing, it's really high level, too. Like, your average team is not going to be able to pull off that kind of constant just dribbling back and forth, passing the ball at that tight proximity. So, that's really, you know, top-tier play by Swarm, looking great there. Oh, and again, a big wide open net there for Team Rocket. Fortunately, they are spared that time. And
see, most teams, they get discouraged when they see a great pass like that and no one's there to capitalize. Pashy knows that even though they didn't get that one, he knows that they're going to be there for most of them. So he's going to keep doing it no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. They're good enough that they just keep getting those chances, and they'll eventually start putting them away. Even if they miss 1 or 2, you know, even if they're not there for 1 or 2. Like, there's another shot. Oh, and De Boer was a little too far ahead, though. That leaves a good opening for Team Rocket. But Pashy right there. That was a pretty good opportunity for Team Rocket. But fortunately for Swarm, they were actually able to just get in front of it, or at least get to the side of the ball to prevent a good center. But there comes Doomsy. Oh, Stocky nearly got the touch on there. But it was Doomsy with the finish.
Yeah, that was just a poor clear on that one and gave Doomsy an easy chance on goal. Stocky tried to get back, but it just worked out really good for him.
All right, well, the gap closed a little bit once again, but they've got to bring it down even further, and they're running very low on time in which to do it. Another good set of plays here for Swarm. Just all that pressure. The defense was just left in shambles. I mean, look at this. Pashy plays it off the wall, gets it past everybody, plays the rebound, gets it past everybody. They just were left completely blind on that. I mean, this is getting really ugly for Team Rocket. So many chances, and again, DeBoer with a huge play. Take a look at this, just comes off the setup. Tree gets no clear on that. DeBoer sideswipes into the finish. And Swarm keeping the goals coming right now. Alright, so final 30 seconds of play in this game 2. Pretty securely in Swarm's grasp. So they're going to take this likely into game 3. Which could very well be a deciding game 3. This is the point where these two teams are really starting to kind of separate from one another. And, you know, I'm not sure where the adjustments need to come necessarily for Team Rocket. They've been making so many lately and adjusting their playstyle and trying to figure out. I don't know if a lot of it could just come down to Swarm being that good and that much better at this point. You know, they've been working so hard to be a better team and to put together a better team and to try to, like, their goal obviously is we got to take out Flipside. That's our goal. We got to get that #1 spot. They're riding a huge wave of momentum right now too. They're coming off of a big finish in MLG. You know, they're placed #1 right now in their division in MLG. They took Flipside to the limit last week in ESL. They are going to be a serious team to contend with. But as it stands right now, Swarm Gaming is up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series. One more game, and Team Rocket is out in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. Shalthis was not expecting to get a call from my boss telling me that my schedule was actually correct. So, sorry about that.
Hey, no worries. That's why we got the webcam. I saw you go on the phone, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to leave any openings until he's off the phone. I will just go solo caster style. Done it before.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Sorry about that. Won't happen again. Everything's set up, and I'm good. Really, I did get to see what was happening on that, and I mean, we saw intensity come up, but it's not enough.
Yeah, they keep getting shut down by Swarm at this point. And I was kind of debating that a little bit between games that, you know, is this a case where at this point is Swarm just the better team? Like, at this point in, like, not just today, but I mean, in the scene right now, in the current status of things, it just feels to me like, I mean, a huge look at these setups that they're getting. They're just picture-perfect setups. Great centers, taking advantage of poor clears, too, and everything just looks great for Swarm right now. And it feels like to me, and I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, that at this point, based off of what we're seeing today, and the fact that these teams are operating full strength, no issues, no hiccups, Swarm Gaming is the better team.
Yeah, I honestly, I have to agree. I hate to do that because, honestly, I like to keep both teams in a open aspect of looking at what they do good and what they do bad, because each team has their own flaws and some just get capitalized more. But these teams are comparable, but I'm seeing a much higher skill advantage.
Like, I don't think we've seen these two teams play since Stocky has been an established member of the team. I think they met once when Stocky first joined, and I think Team Rocket actually beat them in that series. That may have been in, I think it was a recent ESL or Gfinity, I don't remember exactly, but...
I believe it was the ESL.
Yeah, so they met before when Stocky, I think, first joined the team, but I think at that point they weren't quite, you know, as solid of a unit as they are now. It was a good, you know, everything was kind of starting to click. They were figuring each other out. Near goal, but nobody there to try to back it up. That's a big difference I've been seeing here. You know, the few chances that get by for Team Rocket look good, and they get close, but there's nobody there to follow it up. But with Swarm, they miss a shot, but there's Pashy, and there's DeBoer, or there's Stocky. You know, somebody's back there to make another shot.
Now here goes I'm a Tree's got it set up and in the center. Oh, what a good stop! But no, Cole is already committed. Oh, that was a great opportunity.
They're starting to fire a little bit here, but they got to keep that going. That momentum is huge right now, that if you're getting chances, even if they're not going in, just keep firing. Go, go, go. Pressure, pressure, pressure. The more attempts you get, something's bound to go in, but so many huge stops by Swarm. DeBoer got a great one there.
Yeah, and I mean, don't think we're bashing Team Rocket, because honestly, we love this team. But what we're getting at is the disadvantages that we are seeing between these two teams.
Yeah, look, I love Team Rocket. I'm friends with these guys. I talk to them all the time. They are an amazing team. I want them to do great. I want them to do really good things. They have looked so much better than this. I'm not gonna just placate people and say Team Rocket's great when they're not playing great. I wouldn't say that about any team. That's not fair to that team, and that's not fair to you. You know, anybody who's listening to this, they don't want me to just placate them and say, oh, what a great team, they're just having a bad day.
Yeah, no, they want us to be honest and to give our true outlook on it.
Yeah, if Team Rocket's playing poorly, then, you know, I don't think it's a one-day thing, because it keeps going off and on. There's some issues they got to focus on and they got to work towards, and right now they are being outplayed and outclassed by Swarm Gaming, you know, and I think they realize it. You know, they're the kind of team that will admit when that kind of stuff's happening. And right now, there's a good chance, though. Oh, but Stocky denying them another goal. Good follow-through by Cole. Tree tries to respond. But right now, this is great for Team Rocket. They're putting this pressure on. That's what they should have been doing from the get-go. Constant attempts on net. Force Swarm Gaming to play defensively.
Yeah, there you go. That was a good hit by Doomsday to keep it away from DeBoer, but...
but here we go.
We just need to see it from both sides.
Yeah, what we've been seeing a lot of is while the chances are coming for Team Rocket, the quality of chances are a little bit higher for Swarm, and they're able to get better attempts on net. But it's starting to turn around a little bit for Team Rocket, but we're running out of time, man.
Yeah, and that aggression from Swarm is just too overwhelming. I mean, the three-man attacks that they could do and still keep a defense up astounds me every time I see it. As Stocky gets like 3 saves right there.
But again, final 30 seconds, still a 2-goal deficit. I don't think... I can't remember from Game 1, but I think I'm right in saying, did Team Rocket score at all in this series? I mean, this game's not over yet, but assuming this ends with this scoreline, did they score in Game 1?
Yeah, no, not Game 1, but Game 2.
Oh, they did get Game 2, okay.
Yeah, it's Game 2 that they got one, but from there, it hasn't looked any better.
Well, we're coming down to the end here, not only of this series, but also the end of the run in this tournament for Team Rocket.
Yep, and they're blasting off again.
There you have it, gents. Swarm Gaming takes this series 3-0.